Hello, and welcome to Small Biz Catalyst. My name is Ayisat Abilagun, and I am your host. I'm an Economic Recovery Corps Fellow and the CEO of Financial Leadership Club of America. This show is for struggling small business owners who want to be able to earn a consistent six-figure salaries from their businesses, and the economic development professionals who support them. Every week, we will delve into innovative strategies, success stories, and actionable insights to empower small businesses as catalysts for economic resilience. We will bring in knowledgeable guests who can help small business owners grow their businesses. Whether you're interested in community development, economic policy, or entrepreneurship, this podcast offers valuable insights and inspiration. I look forward to having you on future episodes. Hey there. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Small Biz Catalyst. Today, we're actually doing something a little different. We will highlight guests who showed up on our first 10 episodes and celebrate the knowledge that they've shared with us. If you're a small business owner or an economic development professional who supports an entrepreneur, this episode is for you. If you've listened to first 10 episodes, I want to say thank you for being a part of this journey. If you haven't, I want to encourage you to go back and listen to each episode. So a few things I'd like to share with you today as we celebrate the first 10 episodes. Small Biz Catalyst has been broadcasted in 6 countries, including Japan, Bangladesh, Canada, United Kingdom, Nigeria, and the United States. Thank you to our audience from the 51 cities, ranging anywhere from Dallas, Texas, to Chappaqua, New York, Boise, Idaho, Katy, Texas, Chicago, Illinois, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Shawano, Wisconsin, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, I think that's Canada, Manlius, New York. I just want to say thank you for being a part of our journey. I know that this reflection will empower you to grow your small business. Thank you for joining us. The cash flow is the air that your business breathes. Without money coming in and fitting into that business, it cannot grow. So what do you need to watch out for? Number 1, invoicing. You need to make sure that you're invoicing your clients and that those invoices are getting paid. So you need to invoice on time so that your clients can pay you on time. And then negotiate favorable terms. Several years ago, when my husband and I got our first auto repair shop, we wanted it to be different. We wanted to do certain things in there. And so we spent thousands of dollars renovating a leased space. I am too embarrassed to even share the number. A few years later, the building was sold. The new owner looked at our shop, saw all the work that was done in it, and wanted it for himself. We lost the space and the investment we had put into the building. We did not negotiate well. We could have negotiated that the past owner, deducted the amount of money we had spent into the renovations in the lease or created some kind of term that would have served us. We didn't know better. And so whether you're negotiating leases or anything that's related to your business, I would say be careful to make sure that you're negotiating favorable terms and ask advice from other people. See what others have done, why they don't do certain things or why they would do certain things. Just like in your personal expenses, you look and review for unnecessary expenses that you don't have and cut them. You can do the same for your business. To grow your revenue, there are basic things you would need to do. Invest in marketing. If nobody knows that your product or service exists, you are not yet in business. If only your family and friends know, you're still not yet in business. You need to promote your business. And that ties back to networking, but more importantly to marketing. And then know your tribe. Who is your customer? What does your customer avatar look like? A customer avatar is simply a representation of your business or a representation of the person that would buy from you. When I started my business a few years ago, we only did financial literacy training and we did it in schools. And although our end users were students, my customer avatar was actually the purchasing agent. So in some cases, it's the school administrator. In some cases, it's a department that purchases products. In other cases, it's head of certain schools or head of department or head of this or that. So I had to know who my client was, who was paying me, and then, of course, my end users. So the products were tailored to the students, but the marketing was tailored to the buyer. And sometimes they were parents. As you grow your revenue or as your business grows, you might need to pivot. Like for us, we started out in schools and then on campuses, but over time we started working with small businesses. And as we did that, we had to pivot and we got to the point where we started working with chambers and economic development organizations. And so even though you may start out with one product, we still actually cater to schools. But our focus and our business has changed and we've increased lines and just done some things differently. And then test the market. See if there's a demand for what you're about to put out or to see if there are changes that you need to make to it. I feel like I don't need to say this, but I know I need to. Gone are the days when you can start a business and have a business without having an online presence. These days, the first thing people look at is your website. Where are you? What are you saying? And what are you doing? So you need a strong online presence in order to grow your revenue. So to grow your revenue, you need to invest in marketing, know your tribe, have a strong online presence, be ready to pivot as needed, know your customer avatar, test the market. So we've talked about 5 points. SMART, SMART. S for separate, M for monitor cash flow, A for affiliation or network, R for revenue, and T for tailor. These are the 5 simple tips that will help you grow a 6-figure consistent income in your business. They're simple, but they're not so easy to implement.
I have judged over 5,000 grant applications. So with it, I have really learned a lot what you should do and what you should not do when you are applying for a grant. The Center for Women Entrepreneurs has several different programs. So one of the main things really is read. And we always say in our office, read, because the information is there, but you want to make sure that you meet the eligibility requirements. Ours are for women-owned businesses, have to be for profit. And many times a nonprofit or somebody else will apply who's not eligible for the grant. So as you're getting started, make sure you read everything. We have FAQs on our website. We have grant guidelines, and we even have a video you can watch to answer some of these most common questions and pitfalls that people have. So first of all, you want to make sure you are really a fit for the program that you're working on. People don't answer all of the questions, and we have to have that. We have a judging committee. There are always at least 3 people that judge each grant application. So as they're going through, if they can't find what we asked for, they automatically become ineligible. So we don't want that because we know it takes time to fill out a grant application. And then, of course, let us know what the grant funding is going to be used for. What is your project? What it's going to be? And if somebody is giving a $5,000 grant, make sure you ask for $5,000 or $4,999 because it will be rejected. It can be very hard when you're starting out and feeling very isolating. Make sure you have a strong network. And if you can, network with other small business owners as well. If you can get involved in a program, maybe an incubator, an accelerator program, anything where you can be in contact with other entrepreneurs. Some even go to a co-working space a couple times a week or something, just so they can be around and learn from others. But really building a network with other entrepreneurs, and just know as you go along, you're going to be continuing learning. You're going to make mistakes, and mistakes are okay because they are the best education that we get and know how to improve our business or do something better the next time around. And just really know why you're doing this and appreciate your customers or clients that you work with and really value them because that's what's helping you do what you love.
This program is meant to benefit the communities and the people in those communities. A lot of the programs that are happening through ERC are specifically focused on entrepreneurship and small business growth and providing opportunities, providing tools and resources for those entrepreneurs to grow and thrive in their community. And that's a really important piece of this. We want to help grow from the ground up to make sure that entrepreneurs and small business owners in those communities not only have the opportunity to grow their business, but to grow their family, to grow their lives in those places as well. And so we're creating tools and resources that will be able to have access to entrepreneurs, but also there are individual projects that are very specifically focused on entrepreneurship that we can take lessons and apply them to other communities, even well beyond ERC. So there's a direct connection in communities, but also a broader connection to entrepreneurs in building out these tools, resources, and quite frankly, knowledge bases of how to actually drive that opportunity in localized places. So there's a couple of different ways that EDOs can get engaged. Number one, obviously, we hope that others will come in and apply to be host organizations in the future for future cohorts of ERC. So currently we have 65 host organizations and 65 fellows that have been matched up in places across the United States. Our hope and goal is that we have multiple cohorts and obviously an alumni network that's created as a result. And so there's opportunities for EDOs in the future to apply to host a fellow itself. And that is not a small thing. There's a specific accelerator program that every host goes through to identify what are the opportunities in those places, what are the needs, and certainly what are their ideas about how they might utilize a fellow and the capacity that they help to build. The other piece is taking the lessons that we're learning and pulling out. We're going to do some storytelling around this. We're going to do some toolkits and resources for EDOs to be able to take and use. So even if you're not a host organization, you're still going to be able to benefit from this program and learn from what's happening across the 65 fellows and those hosts.
The BOIR, which is the Beneficial Owners Information Report. This was passed into law a few years ago by the Senate, but it is effective 2024. So 3 things to know. If your company was created before 2024, you have until the end of 2024 to file. If it was created in 2024, you had 90 days to file. If it will be created in 2025, you only have 30 days. And those are the key dates that you need to know. Come January 1, 2025, small businesses like yours and mine will find ourselves owing the government $500 a day for not being compliant with this. I don't want that to happen to you because I know for some businesses, that's a make or break amount of money, especially when you have very small margins.
The small businesses in the area may not know what's available to them. I mean, they may not know that there's this incentive package. Like, for example, the city of DeSoto, they have I know of 2 cities, as a matter of fact, that have some type of incentive where it's a facade enhancement, grant. So if you're a small business and maybe you've had that, the outside of your business doesn't look that great and you need to enhance it, there's grants, there's matching grants, there's incentives for you. And most people just don't know about that. And some of these local cities and economic developments just don't do a good job of letting people know. When I say small business, I'm focusing on like your Main Street type business, your mom and pop, maybe under 100 type employees, right? I would say, and for them to be sustainable and to ensure more of a long-term impact, it boils down to funding. It boils down to money. I know access to capital is a challenge for women and minorities, but that's what's going to help a business scale and grow, is being able to get access to capital, whether it's for working capital, to purchase new inventory or supplies, to expand the business. So in order to get access to that funding, you got to keep good cash flow. You got to manage your cash flow. You got to maintain good company credit as well as personal credit.
One thing I always say is that the primary responsibility of every business owner is to be organized. It's not to make money. It's not to grow the biggest, baddest business and so on and so forth. It's actually to be organized. And why do I say organized over everything else? It's because you can't get to those everything else if you are not organized. Use your bank accounts and your credit card accounts as the ledger that shows all of the transaction history of your business. Well, for us accountants, we can just pull up those bank transactions and we'll be able to build financial statements just based on your bank accounts. Once we're able to pull all those transactions from your bank account, that's when we can put it into an accounting software and be able to report on it and give you your profit and loss or your balance sheet and so on, so that you can monitor the performance of your business.
We as humans have 10,000 years of oral tradition that is hard-coded into the way that we interact with each other. And because of that, when you can connect with someone on a human level through a story, all of a sudden, they're interested, they're bought in, they want to hear what you have to say. And oftentimes they want to be a part of that story. They want to help push that narrative. We were at the conference, I shared about how when we aired on Shark Tank, and it was election week, our episode ended up not airing and it got preempted by the news. It was devastating. But because I shared my story with the head showrunners of Shark Tank, they made a decision that they normally never make. They ended up re-airing our episode, even though I explicitly signed a contract saying that they would not re-air the episode if it got preempted for any reason. But because of the story, they wanted to be a part of that. They wanted to be a part of the journey that I was on and that my company was on. And so they helped. I was just reading about Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart and Snoop were just at the Olympics having a good old time, right? What I didn't know was that Martha Stewart didn't even have a cookbook out until she was 50 years old. 50. Martha Stewart didn't have a TV show, international bestseller, until she was 60 years old. And so people look at someone like her and it's like, oh yeah, look, she's just larger than life. But this is in the later half of her life that happened. And that's for so many people. You look at somebody like Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson didn't start getting major roles into a movie until he was 40s, 50 years old. I think oftentimes people don't realize that sometimes for some people's lives, things happen early. For some people's lives, things happen late. But just remember, it's never too late for your season to come, for your story to be rewritten. And so it's like, give it time. And when the timing's right, don't give up. Keep going.
Hey there, if you're just joining us, this is Small Biz Catalyst. We would like to invite you into our Tag a Business team. Here's what you need to do. Nominate a small business of your choice, tag them on our website at smallbizcatalyst.org. That's small, BIZCATALYST.org. Tell us your name, give us your email address because that's how we'll be able to tell you if you're a winner or not. And then give us a website to a business of your choice. It could be your business or somebody else's. Once you've tagged the business, you'll be entered for a $25 drawing to a local business of your choice. We'll announce winners every month. And now, back to the show.